Microphones are recorded. Red light, red light, red light.
Green light. I can't wait till, we have a whole
Team?
A
That'd be
whole,
nice.
camera crew. The mic sounds nice. Check one.
Wow.
You're welcome.
There's lights, cameras, and action.
When I know something's focused, I just realign. I'm on my grind.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Everything's Perfect. And we're kicking today's episode off with a shout out of one of our 5-star reviews that we got on Apple. This is from Elder Millennial Gina, which I love that name. It says, Autumn and Donald, I just adore and respect you both so much. It's been so much fun navigating a bunch of fitness programs with you from my basement gym, but this is just what I needed. It's clear you both are doing what you love and prioritizing this, which is super inspiring for those of us who aren't quite there. Thank you for honoring this creative outlet. Truly cannot wait to come along for the ride. Thank you so much for commenting, Gina, and we're going to be here, so I hope you do stick with us.
Thank you for that 5-star review. Let's get into it. So I got dressed today to work out.
Congratulations.
I haven't worked out.
Everything starts with the first step.
The intention is there, but it's going to be one of those days where I have to work out late. And man, that's not my favorite, but I will get it done.
Mine too. I haven't done mine yet, but it was like I could rush and do it. And I was like, rushing just is not my vibe. Especially in a workout, because if I already want to work out, if I'm feeling pressured for what's after a workout, I need to get better about that, because I'm always like in my head about it taking so much time. So I like to have plenty of time. I like to have enough time to do the workout. If I'm doing like a 45-minute workout video, be able to have like 10 minutes after to just scroll on my phone and breathe and
snap a photo.
Exactly.
Post a sweaty selfie. But also, it's for the first time in what feels like a year, it's hot outside, like hot.
Yeah.
Like summer's here, except that it's not. It'll be cold again in 4 days. I already looked it up. But for today, summer's here. And I was like, I have all these things I want to do, and I want to be outside, and Donald's coming, and we have so much work to do. Everything's perfect except summer's here.
Summer's here.
Ah!
Ready or not.
Not.
Here it is.
Ready or not.
Here. Mm-hmm.
So summer's here. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or not.
Yeah. We were talking like, it seems like every year it sneaks up, and summer, when people have physical goals, everyone knows that's a focus on the summer. They want to feel confident, but also just everything you have going on, trips, navigating your schedule. It comes faster and faster every year. We're
going to dive into it all. This summer is weird for me because it's our first summer not having Summit what? That's not true. I mean, technically during, the lockdown years, we had it virtually, but even then we still sort of had it and like things to be ready for and launching. This is the first summer we don't have it. And my summer is sort of built around that.
Well, that's why I've decided to make my birthday the main event this
Your
summer.
Your birthday is the main event this summer. I'm so excited for that.
Me too. Literally, last night while I was going to sleep, I was like, I'm not really tired, but if I close my eyes and think about my birthday, I've never been this excited about a birthday in my whole life.
And it's 40, so it's a big one to be excited about, because a lot of people freak out.
Yeah, no, I'm here for it. I'm ready. I'm so excited to start saying I'm 40 to people.
Fourth floor, man. It's actually been good. 30, I panicked about. And then I turned 30 and I was like, yeah, whatever. It's not a big deal. But leading up to 30, I was really worried. 40, I was very excited about. And now it seems like that 40th birthday was a long time away. We're creeping towards the other one.
You're still closer to 40 than 50. I mean, not that it matters. But...
For a few more months. And then I'm like right smack in the middle.
Yeah, you got to round up. That's the rule in math, if you remember.
Well, guess what? The math ain't going to math with me. I'm going to round down.
That's right.
Until I can't round down no more. Okay, so wait. So... we have a few things this summer because in a few weeks, you and I are going to New York for the weekend. Ooh, Donald and Autumn in New York.
I know. It's like we haven't been since that first trip in 2000.
That's not true.
Together?
We were there for a split second. Remember when the airplane almost fell out of the sky?
Oh, yeah, we were.
For the trip where I shook my butt in your face?
Uh-huh. Yeah. How could I forget? But still, that was
That
was
8
like
years ago.
January
Yeah, 7-8 years ago.
2018. So
Yeah. So it's been a minute. So
get ready, New York.
here we
We're
come.
coming for you.
2 days in New York. That's all you need. It's like Vegas. 2 days. Plenty. We're going for the High Rocks competition. Hopefully I leave New York.
Yeah.
Not in a body bag.
I might actually have to carry you again like the first time.
For real. But then I'm going to Florida right after that for a family trip. My whole family's coming. And then I get back and we're like 2 weeks from your birthday.
Yeah. And I'm so excited because even though my birthday is here in LA, we're throwing it at your house. I have so many friends coming from all over. So it really it's perfect. Because when I think of anywhere I'd like to go, it feels so exciting that so many people I love are coming here to see me. So yeah, New York, birthday. And then, there's always some random weekend trip here or there that you take in the summer.
For sure, we're going to figure out some other things. I feel like Autumn and Donald have to take on different things this summer. And we got to take this show on the road a little bit.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Beat, beat. Here we come.
Okay, but I have a question because in episode 3, our self-love episode, we were talking about, different insecurities that we have. You had said in the self-love episode, you've never really been at an event where you've had to have your shirt off and felt 100% comfortable.
Yeah.
Your birthday party is at my house and it is a outdoor pool / party. Now, I don't know whether or not your shirt will come off because it's actually at night, but
Girl, it's my party. I might be birthday suit.
I
You
was
never
going
know.
to say,
Just
like,
kidding.
who knows where this party is going to go? So how do you feel?
I feel,
Summer's here. Do you feel ready for it?
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about that. Because it's such a dance that I think a lot of people play. Last summer, I didn't go to someone's birthday party because it was a pool party.
What?
And so the reason I point that in significance of last summer, that's after I filmed every single program that I filmed with you. That's after working out and eating healthy most of the time has been a part of my life. And so no one is above or beyond having insecurity. And I just think that that's a thing. And so my intention is to lean into confidence and find confidence, because it isn't on the other side of, quote, looking a certain way or appearing a certain way. And so I am doing everything I can to just say yes and have fun and fuck needing to feel like I'm, like I said in the episode that was Everything's Perfect Except Me, that we talked about some of our insecurities. It's almost like I feel like I'm letting people down if I don't look up to a certain way. And, so I am finding the balance, and probably it's like I said, called it a dance a moment ago. It's going to be a dance that I have my whole life, but I'm here for it to be confident, be comfortable in who I am, and continue working on myself because I want to be healthy. I want to be strong, and I want to be proud of my body and what that means for me.
Right.
So, but knowing that I can be proud of my body the way it is right now, and when insecurities start to win, there's work for me to do to shut that shit down.
Yeah, I think that's important. I really find that there's 2 things that we should sort of, there's a lot of things that we could pay attention to, but if you have a goal, it's not really about getting to the goal, right? It's more about who do you need to become to reach the goal. So if you have a fitness goal, and I'll be the first to say, I don't think there's anything wrong with having goals that pertain to a certain physical appearance, as long as health is always the way we're getting there, right? We don't want to diet and quick fix, and that's part of what we're talking about. It's summer. We're going to get into some of our tips and things like that for feeling confident this summer, working out, nutrition, traveling, all the things that come with summer. But it's more about, like I said, not okay, I'm at this goal, now I can be confident, but who do I need to become to reach that goal? And as you take the steps that you need to take to become that person to get to that goal, that's where the confidence starts to come into play. Mm-hmm. When you get up and you do the thing that's hard and you actually do it, that gives you that little boost of confidence. And then when you do the next thing, that gives you a little confidence. When you get the workout in and you, even if you get to the end and you're breathing hard, you're still breathing. Even if you get to the end and you're exhausted, you're still standing, you know, like you did it.
Yeah.
So be proud that you did it. When you maybe pass up the extra dessert or something like that, not because you're depriving yourself and punishing yourself, but because you recognize like, hey, that doesn't serve the goal I'm going towards right now. That gives you this little jolt, this little bit of like, yeah, I did that. And I did that for me. And I feel good about that.
Yeah.
And it gives you also that little bit more power to make the next right choice for yourself and your goal. And by the way, if your goal changes or if you don't want the goal bad enough to make the certain change, there's no judgment. Like Dee and I were literally having this conversation at my kitchen table before we hit record. That there's plenty of goals you say like, oh, I want to do it. And then you're like, actually, it's not that important to me. Or I'm not willing to
Do what it takes.
Yeah, like I don't want like pizza night with family Friday night. I'm not willing to give that up. Fantastic. Let's talk about some other things that maybe you could do during the week that will then allow you to fully enjoy that pizza night with your family or things like that.
Yeah. I think that it's like people need to remember more. There is a difference between a goal and having envy or coveting what someone else has. Because I can look at someone who, to me, is what I would say, oh, that's goals. I want to look that athletic and move that way, like whatever. That's envy. I'm envying that person. But if it's a goal, then I'm not actually looking at the end. I'm looking at what it takes to get there.
Right.
And a lot of people are like, oh, I'd love to have that. I'd love, and it doesn't even have to be about physical things of our bodies. It could be about, you know, where you live or a car or a schedule or a type of work that you do. A lot of people are like, oh, I'd love to have that. And not in a negative way. Like we all look at people and think that, but it becomes a goal when you say, what work do I need to do? What are the steps I need to take to achieve that? And also a goal is about what you want personally versus like when you envy someone, you want what they have. And so learning what is healthy and thriving and, you know, being that bad bitch that I was born to be look like on me,
right?
Instead of trying to chase after what I see when I see that in other people and wanting it to look like that.
Yeah. Well, I would say two things to that. A goal without a plan is just a dream. So you can have the goal, you need to have the plan, and you also need to take action.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a dream, a fantasy, a wish, but it's not like, it's not put into motion. So you
Yeah.
have to put the action into motion. And like you were saying, when it comes to like, here's the goal or here's the envy, like there's a lot of bodies I can look at. And I guess envy would be the right word, but I think that still sort of implies that I want it. I can, let me use the word admire. I think that would work better for me is the word admire. I can look at a lot of different bodies and admire them, but it wouldn't necessarily be the exact body type that I want for me. Again, there's women I can look at that have like, just, they put muscle on easier than me. They have great muscle definition. That, like, I admire that. I know what that work took. That's a beautiful body. There's women that have more curves to them naturally, like a J-Lo. I'm like, oh, I admire that. That's awesome. Good for her. That's not going to be my body.
Right.
And I can look at both and I can admire both. And that's no judgment on them that I'm not working towards either one of those. Maybe I'm not working towards either one of those because I understand my body and I know what it's capable of. And there are certain things that our bodies are capable of and not necessarily capable of. I'm just never going to grow an ass like J-Lo's.
Yeah.
Girlfriend's been trying for years, man. Get it? And I'm like, you know what? I'm at the point where I'm like, my butt has grown. My muscle definition has improved. And I'm really proud of that. And like, it's not about having her exact booty. It was about the fact that, great, I wanted mine lifted. I wanted mine more round and firm. And I've done that work and I continue to do that work. And I can look at somebody's body with a lot of muscle on it, like a female who's got like muscle definition, and be like, that's amazing. I'm going to work to put on the muscle that I can put on. I'm a hard gainer, meaning it's very hard for me to put on a large amount of muscle.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get mad or jealous that they have it. But you might hear me make a joke
Yeah.
about like, damn, I wish, you know, like, or, oh, like, look at that. But I'm not judging it or whatever. I might make a joke about like, why can't my body look like that? But that doesn't mean I hate my body or anything like that. So I think these are important things to think through instead of just attacking all of a sudden, and then acknowledging what you want for yourself.
Confidence isn't on the other side of what you're working towards. It's accessible to you right now. And so if we believe the lie that we have to achieve something and then we can be confident, you're likely never going to be confident.
Right.
That's actually just breeding more into your insecurity. And so I think taking the steps, and for me, knowing I'm taking action, like you said, having the plan, showing up, regardless of what's happening, then I can be confident because I'm handling what I have to handle.
Yeah.
And everything else is none of my business. And what I'm doing is nobody else's. So it really is like finding that confidence in who you are right now, what you're doing, how you're thriving, in the ways that nobody sees. And so that's what I'm here for this summer. And so leaning into the plan and I'm not going to say no to any pool parties. I'll tell you that. I'm going to show up.
I'm having all the pool parties just for
be
Donald
there.
to show up.
Yes. I'd be like, oh God, I said I wouldn't say no.
He comes
Fourth
in.
one.
He's like, oh, again.
Again?
Can we do something else?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've talked about mindset, which is obviously really important, right? Like to put our heads in the right place. But summer is here and it tends to, like, the kids are about to be out of school. So this is a time where people's schedules shift because now all of a sudden it's like the kids are home and, you know, they get to sleep in a little bit more. But hey, as parents, we still have work. And then there's a family vacation coming up or a trip or for some people, it's wedding season. You know, there's all these things that we want to feel our best for. We're wearing less clothing because it's hot outside. You know, you're putting on a swimsuit. So maybe the winter got away from you. Maybe you weren't working towards your health and wellness goals. And now summer's here and you're sort of like, ooh. Again, there's no judgment. But what can we do? Let's talk about like some things that we can do. Or, by the way, you could have been working all winter long, but summer still snuck up on you. Or you're just like, man, it's here and I don't know how I'm going to stay on track this summer.
Exactly. Like it requires a shift because of vacations or trips or change in schedule. Maybe you've been totally on point.
Yes.
But there's still, you could feel like, okay, but how am I going to manage summer? Because there's just a lot more moving pieces.
We just said pool parties and things like that, barbecues, and people are like, but I don't want to miss out on the fun.
I was about to ask you if you were a cookout or a barbecue. I say cookout.
What's the difference?
I thought that was an Ohio thing. Some people say, I don't know, maybe I'm totally off track, but some people are like, oh, we're going to a barbecue. But we always called barbecues cookouts, and I just wondered what you called them.
I think we called them cookouts growing up, and I think I would probably use, that's why I was like, what do you mean? They're the same thing.
Yeah.
I would use the terms interchangeably. But yeah, we did in the Midwest. It was cookout, kind of like pop and soda.
Exactly. It was pop, but I say soda.
I say soda now.
Because I'm like, pop.
But let me tell you, it took years to say soda. I'd be like, oh, soda? Like, and my family still makes fun of me for saying soda because they all still say pop.
Yeah, it's just pop's a funny word for drink. Anyways.
Soda pop.
Soda pop, yeah.
That's where it came from. Some people picked soda, some people picked pop, whatever. Okay. What were we saying?
Oh.
We're killing it.
We were talking about the shift in scheduling.
The shift in scheduling.
Yeah, there's cookouts or barbecues.
There's barbecues. And like, well, you know, there's a mentality of, well, I don't want to miss out and I don't want to feel restricted and I want to be able to eat the food and I don't want to worry about getting hour-long workouts in when I'm on vacation with my family. And I think I know, you guys 20 plus years in this industry, I know that there's always balance to be had and there is always a way to do it if it matters to you. I mean, I've traveled literally the world and it doesn't mean that it's always easy and it doesn't mean that it's always perfect. Like there's adjustments that get made. And for me, it's always just making the best choice possible. Again, it's not about necessarily like, oh, I was perfect. I was this. No, it's just about making the best choices possible.
Yeah. I think that for me, it's like, how do you have fun without feeling like you fail your plan, whatever you're doing? And one is make it part of your plan. I say that all the time. Like, of course, you're going to feel like you're failing if you have your pizza night with your family on Fridays if it's not part of your plan.
Right.
But if pizza night's part of your plan, then you have it and you're successful. And there's also boundaries around it, because if I don't make room for certain things that I know are happening, then if I get off track, it's a free for all. And it's like, you get I'm cussing a lot today, but it's like you get a case of the fuck it's, and you're
Right.
like, oh, you know. But if you're like, okay, I planned for this, and this is how I plan to manage this situation, it can, to someone who hasn't done this before, hearing this can sound restrictive, but it actually makes you feel so empowered in those moments, because
Yes.
you're like, I'm here, I'm having a good time, and I feel totally prepared for this scenario.
Yes.
And it can be a lot of tools that people can use to plan for it. Like, and it really depends on the where you're at and where you find yourself. But whatever it is, planning for it will make you won't feel like you fail when you have fun.
Right. Well, little shameless plug right now. This is the beauty of Portion Fix when it comes to nutrition. Like, this is what I wanted people to be able to have. Like, okay, you have your macros done for you. You have the little color-coded containers. You're not weighing. You're not counting. You know what each container counts as. I take into account being able to have desserts, being able to have cocktails, but doing it in a balanced moderation so that it doesn't give you the case of the buckets or throw you completely off track or make you feel like you failed. You know how many times you are going to have dessert in a week or cocktails in a week. And now if you're used to having cocktails every night, or you're used to having 3 and 4 at a time, yeah, that gets dialed back a little bit, but it goes back to that, who do you need to become to reach that goal? But yeah, when you have all of that worked into the plan, there is no feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm undoing all my hard work. And also, if you're writing it down, be it in your notes, tracking it in, Body app or whatever, keeping track of those containers, keeping track of how often you're having the dessert, how often you're having the cocktail, how often you're going into that bowl of chips or whatever it might be. It makes such a difference, because I don't know about you, D, but I'm like, look, my schedule's busy, and sometimes Monday feels like it was 7 weeks ago, and today's Thursday.
Yeah.
So like, what did I have on Monday? I don't fucking know what I ate on Monday. So if I don't remember on Monday, I'm using this as an example, but it's like, oh, if I had a cocktail on Monday, but by Thursday I forgot that I had a cocktail. Then I'm like, oh yeah, great. Happy hour. Let's go. And let me have cocktails. And then all of a sudden, right as you're like laying down to bed, you're like, I did drink on Monday, and now I drank on Thursday, and oh my gosh, I've got Mother's Day brunch on Sunday, and I was going to have mimosas, and now you're off, and you're having this mental debate about like, what are you going to do, because you forgot, because you didn't write it down somewhere. But when you track it one way or another, that's just so easy to look back and be like, you know what, I already had dessert twice this week. Do I really need it right now? Because there's a difference between needing something and wanting something. I want those crumble cookies. I don't need those crumble cookies.
Right.
If I want something sweet, I could eat an apple. I don't need chocolate cake.
Yeah.
If I feel like I want a glass of wine, like, this is again the mindset shift a little bit too. Like, I had a rough day, I need a glass of wine. That's become the way that you enjoy unwinding from the hard day. I get it. But you can just as easily turn another habit into that way that you like to unwind.
Yeah.
It could be a walk. It could be a phone call with a friend. It could be taking 5 minutes to sit down and take some deep breaths and stretch. Putting on your favorite show and laughing, listening to a podcast. Like, there are other ways. And again, we're just giving examples. These are for you to sit with. All we can do is pose the questions and say, what serves you? What's the goal? What do you want to reach? And give you some tips on ways that you could go about doing it. Then you have to sort of take that ownership and say, what's the goal? What do I want to achieve? What am I willing to do? And what am I not willing to do?
Yeah. What am I willing to add, and what am I willing to give up?
Yeah.
The thing is, every one of us are a product of our daily habits.
Choices.
I said in one of my groups recently, I was like, I encourage you to take an audit of your daily habits for a week. Because as you start to see the things that repeat themselves, as you start to see, there might be, if you journal about that, there might be and you know, if food is the focus, it could be food journal, but it could also be about like productivity. If you have goals, if someone wants to start a business or start and they feel like they have no time, take an audit of your habits and see how much you're actually spending on time you're spending on other things, because everyone has the same amount of time in the day. So so what are you doing with yours? And it's not always easy.
No.
And by the way, it's okay if your want might trump, like you might decide, well, I really want this, so I'm willing to make it work. It's fine. Like, everyone has to live with their choices, but they still are choices. I think what I like to encourage people to do is find the power in being mindful and intentional.
Yes.
Because we are a product of what we're doing, and you might not even know what you're doing. So at least know, at least get that information, and then you'll feel like you have the ability to move some pieces around if you want to experiment and see how you start to feel, how you start to change areas that you thought you couldn't get better in, how you might, you know?
Yeah.
So
100% though, making your choices from a mindful, like a conscious place, because so often it's just like, I'll get to that workout later, and you don't even think twice about the decision you're making to skip it. And do you even have time to get to it later? Or, you know, you come home from work and you're tired and you're hungry, and so you're making dinner, but you're maybe eating out of the chip bag while you're doing it, and you're not even really, it's a mindless habit that you're doing. Those are the things that kind of throw you off. But when you make the choice from a conscious place, sometimes you're going to pick differently, or sometimes you just go, it feels very empowering to say, I want this. Like the day we had the crumble cookies on the show, there was zero guilt around eating crumble cookie. It was just great. Like, we're making this conscious choice. We're doing it for the episode. It's fun. They were enjoyable. And then they were done.
right.
That's it. Like, so when you make those choices and you say, I'm going to have a glass of wine tonight, I'm going out with my best friend, I can't wait to catch up, and we're going to have a good glass of wine, and I'm looking forward to it. You've made that choice from a conscious place. You're ready for it. You're prepped for it. And like, you don't, I feel like that removes that feeling of guilt that, let's be honest, we have sometimes when we make this choice, like, why did I do that? Now I'm going to feel this way, or, oh, that's going to stop me from this. If you just really think through, like, okay, great, I'm going to do this, but when I get home, I'm making sure I drink a lot of water. I'm going to get my rest, and tomorrow morning, getting up and getting that workout done. Now you've like you said, you've fitted into your plan.
Yeah.
So I think we should give some of our tips that have worked for us over the years. Like, summer's here. Let's do like maybe 3 nutrition tips that you have for staying on point this summer, regardless of what you're doing, traveling, parties, things like that.
My first tip is stay stocked. So when you're at home, you know, if I go someplace, I know there's not going to be a lot of healthy options. That doesn't mean I'm not going to eat anything there, but I don't go starving. I make sure that I've eaten something, gotten plenty of veggies, some good fiber, some healthy protein, whatever it is, depending on if I know where I'm going.
Right.
And when I find myself starting to make decisions that are basically, I feel like I'm scrambling to just eat, it's because I don't have the good choices that I would like. I've never regretted opening my fridge, seeing good healthy food that I enjoy in there, and eating it. And most of the time I make something and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I did this. It tastes delicious, and I know what I'm literally putting this stuff in my body. And it's like, we should care enough about ourselves to care a little bit about what we're putting in it.
Since your body's going to be made out of what you put in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my first thing, and this is all year, but especially in the summertime when you're quick on the run, stay stocked. And especially with a lot of the summertime's great to really just enjoy some fruits and
Stop
veggies.
stealing all my answers.
Okay.
He's like reading my mind.
Yeah. So that's one of mine.
Okay. Keep going.
Okay.
You can do your 3.
Okay, so the first one, stay stocked. The second one is always like this. For example, if you're at a cookout, plate the salad first. Like, even if, I think that if you, hopefully you have been prepared, you know what's going to be there, and just think about, okay, what am I eating most of? Because if half of your plate is, well, I don't want to say anything. I love potato salad, and I love potato salad scooped onto potato chips. But I love a crunch. I mean, I was the guy who was like making turkey or tuna sandwiches and putting potato chips
In
on
between.
my sandwich. And, yeah. Oh, I love. But just being being mindful about how much of that you're eating and that you're getting plenty of veggies and good protein also. And I think that the third one would be, especially in the summertime, it gets hotter. You can be out at the beach or pool or on the boat. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water, because it's easy to drink cocktails. It's easy to down the beers, but just keep hydrating yourself, and that might help out.
Great. So you left me with like nothing.
I tried to go every other.
I know. I was like, no, I'm going to let you do only 3 of yours. And so now mine are like quasi spin-offs of Donald's. So I would say, okay, since we're talking about food, like if you're traveling, I always make sure I have really easy snacks with me, be it for the plane, in the car, if I'm going to be in a hotel room, like my purse always has something in it. So things I'll throw in there. I'll throw in chomp sticks. Those are like the meat sticks. I'll throw in baby carrots, baby bell peppers. I'll chop up celery. I'll bring like an individual pack of guacamole that you can open up, or an individual pack of hummus that you can open up, grapes, like anything that can go in like a little baggie or whatever and get thrown in my purse that I know will last several hours. Toasted edamame or toasted chickpeas, like those are a little bit more carby, because they're just healthier options. Like sometimes when you are on a plane, you want a snack because maybe you're bored, right? Or you're in the car and you want a snack, like you're doing a road trip and you're like, I'm bored again. But like at least if you're picking the healthier options, that's gonna be better. So I just always have snacks. Now, I've gotten to the point, my blood sugar is a lot more balanced now than it ever has been before, where I always felt like, oh my gosh, if I don't have food like every 2.5 hours, I'm going to die. And I don't feel that way anymore. So that makes it a lot easier to not feel like I have to snack as much. But still, it's just one of those things where I just don't want to get caught
hungry.
The flight got delayed. The road trip's taking longer. I got to the hotel room. I went to Mexico recently, walked in the hotel room, and it was like literally a plate of macaroons and then a plate of other like desserts. And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing to me? Like,
You run.
can I get a
someone
crew
walks by.
today? I literally like said to like the person bringing something. I was like, can I get like a crunite and some guacamole, please? Because that was about those desserts were about to go down. So I always have snacks on hand. You already mentioned water, but let me just sort of expand on that too. Like if you're going to, again, be at a barbecue or cookout or out to dinner or whatever, do a 1-for-1 when it comes to your cocktails, or even if it comes to maybe you're just drinking soda, like 1-for-1. So if you have a cocktail, then have a full glass of water, not a few sips, but like a full glass. It's so important for hydration. Sometimes our bodies mistake. They think we're hungry, but really we're thirsty. So I never go anywhere without having my water bottle with me. Always be sipping on that one. It's so important. Listen, we got to put on our big kid pants. Fiber is so important. It's important to keeping us full. It's important to keeping our bowels moving. Again, you said it. You said, think about what you're putting on your plate and how much of what you're putting on your plate. This is something I've always said to Dom, my son. I'm like, what's the thing you usually want to eat least? And he's like, vegetables. I was like, great. So you eat those first. They're really important. You need the fiber. Then you can go to your protein. And what's the thing you like the most? And it's usually like the carb, right? Like I'm like, save it for last.
Yeah.
So if you wait till the end, you're already full on your veggies and your protein. You're probably going to eat a little bit less. One of the biggest things I like to say when it comes to nutrition is stop trying to like think about everything you have to remove and instead crowd it out.
Yeah, I love that.
So you crowd out the bad stuff by putting in more of the good. So don't say like, oh my God, I can't have cookie, I can't have a soda, I can't have a cocktail. Say, I'm just going to try to make sure I get in more veggies. I'm going to try to make sure I get in more fruit. I'm going to try to make sure I get in more water. Now it's more of what you get to have and not less. But the more you eat those healthy things, the easier it becomes, because now you're full, you're hydrated, you're satiated, and those cravings that tend to come aren't there as much.
Yeah.
And so it's easier to resist. You said don't go to a party hungry. That's another big one. I would say if you're going to go to a party and you're able to bring a dish, like it's not offensive if you're bringing a dish, barbecue, things like that, make something healthy so that if there's a bunch of food there that is not fitting to your goals, at least the thing that you brought is, it could be a really good, healthy, big salad. It could be a big fruit salad. It could be it could be protein that's done in a way that you know is going to be something that you would eat. Whatever. It could be a healthier dessert. Like jump online, find a healthier dessert that doesn't have as much added sugar. Fixate. Hello. And bring that. Like, I bet people will love it, especially if you don't say like, this is quote unquote healthy food. Like, you just bring an apple cobbler and they're going to love you for it. And they're not going to be like, there's not enough sugar in it because Bobby did a good job with those recipes. So I don't know if I gave 3 full ones there, but those are the big things, is getting your veggies in, making sure you're hydrated, having the healthier snack options with you. I think those are big ones for staying on point.
Yeah.
This summer.
And find what works for you. Like some people are really good with recipes and preparing. I most of the things I cook, other than seasonings, have 5 ingredients or less and are mostly a 1-pan recipe. And so that's what works for me. And that's how I enjoy it. I throw it together. It tastes good. But some people like to do more in-depth recipes. And I just say, do what works for you.
I'm going to give 2 other tips that I just thought of. Just so mine are a little different than yours. So if you're eating out, when you're looking at that menu, first of all, you can look ahead at the menu. Like if you're going to go to a dinner and sort of plan for it. Like, okay, what's on the menu? What sounds good? I'm going to order this. That way, when you get there, if you're a little hungry, you don't get sucked into the like, oh, but this sounds good. If you start seeing things that are like smothered, fried, creamy, like if those words are in the description on the menu, they're probably loaded with some things that are going to work against your goals. If your goal is weight loss or let's say body recomposition, I like that. When you start to see those words, you might want to be cautious.
Yeah.
With those types of descriptions, because you're going to get things that,
That's something I appreciate that restaurant. I don't know if it's everywhere or if it's just in California, but restaurants that have a certain number of locations are required to show the calories on their items. And not that I'm saying you have to obsess over calories, but I listen to this vocal coach who, like, if you strain singing and stuff, she's like, you can do it, but you're using a lot of your vocal dollars. Well, whatever your goal is for your fitness or nutrition, you're using a lot of those extra dollars you got on that
for the
meal.
cream and smothered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, the other thing I was going to say was, don't be afraid when you go out to eat to ask for what you want. Like, you're paying for it. Listen, I have many years in the service industry, waiting tables. If you ask nicely, they'll do it for you. So like, if you want it cooked in olive oil or easy butter, don't be afraid to ask for it. Or if you want veggies instead of fries,
like whatever.
mashed potato, whatever. Like, not that there's anything wrong with fries or mashed potatoes, but maybe you're like, oh, I already had enough carbs for the day. Don't be afraid to ask for how you want your meal prepared. Just do it nicely. And the third thing I was going to say, these are my 3 better ones, is that you should always aim for a balance on your plate. And again, like I said, I'm not trying to shamelessly plug Portion Fix, but at the same time, this is why I created it, so that all this stuff is there and it teaches you all of this. That, like, to try to have a balance within each meal. So you don't just have protein, you don't just have carbs, you don't just have healthy fat or not so healthy fat. You want to try to have a little bit of everything. So if you have protein, veggies, and even though veggies do have some carbs in them, veggies I don't count as starchy carbs. And then healthy fat and then a little starchy carb. You have a really nice balance that's going to keep you satiated, leave you feeling full, but hopefully also leave you feeling like you really got to enjoy your meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I love that. And I love that about Portion Fix. I literally was on a call with one of my clients today and recommended Portion Fix because first of all, it brings that balance in. And a lot of people feel like they're eating so little. And whenever I am like, okay, I haven't been using the containers as much, and I sort of have gotten off my plan, whenever I use Portion Fix to get back and go all in, I'm like, wow, I'm eating way more food and way more balanced than I normally do.
Yeah.
So plug it.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk fitness. I'm going first.
Go. Okay, go.
Stealing all the fitness and nutrition expert tips. Okay, so fitness tips for the summer. Listen, y'all, movement is movement. So, like, if you wake up and you feel like, oh my gosh, I don't have time for a full workout, something is better than nothing. If you do a 10-minute walk 3 times a day, so like, oh, after breakfast, I gotta walk the dog. Great, 10 minutes. Oh, okay, I had lunch. Like, let me just take a quick little walk. Like, it's beautiful. The sun is out longer. When you're traveling, you've got your legs. You can go walk. Like, I mean, if you have the ability to walk, then you could do that anywhere.
Right.
So get it in. Be it, I don't care if you're inside your hotel, walking up and down the hallway, you go outside, take a walk around a new city, whatever it is, move. Having workouts that you can do anywhere. Body weight cardio you can do anywhere. It's not always ideal to, like sometimes you might get a little bored if you're only doing cardio, but you could do cardio anywhere. You could do it in your hotel room. Listen, you can do jumping jacks. You can do burpees. You could do squats. You could do push-ups. You could do lunges. You could do sit-ups. Like right there. Minute-long intervals. Do it twice. Do it 3 times. You've got a full workout in. Like there's always something that you can do body weight-wise. You just have to plan for it. Things like having mini resistance loops that can just throw in your suitcase so that you can get a little resistance training in. Again, it can be done anywhere. Most hotels, when you go to them, have a gym in there. So if you want to look at that and see if that's an option. But we all know it's summer, so we tend to be more active. Like if you're at the beach, take a walk on the beach. Bike rental and go ride the bike around somewhere. So like it doesn't always have to be I did this specific workout. I personally like having a workout program and a plan because then I know I'm not overtraining one thing and undertraining the other. But when it comes to summer, do you ever look at little kids, right? And they just have the best time. Like I think when I was a little kid, we would be in the pool for 8 hours. Swear, my mother would take us to the pool. She would pack that cooler so full of stuff because she probably knew she was going to get peace and quiet with her friends, and they would sit there and they would drink their Diet Coke and they would have their gossip time, and us kids would be running around till 5 o'clock when she had to take us home and make us dinner.
Yeah.
And after dinner, we were so tired, she put a movie on and we would pass out. I mean, talk about a good day for a parent. But I think about kids and just like how much they'll just run and jump in the pool and do it over and over and jump in the pool, and they're diving and they're in the water and they're doing flips under the water and let's do handstands. And sometimes I'm like, just be more like a kid.
Yeah.
And
totally.
explore. Like, don't be afraid to get in the pool with your kids. Okay, who cares? We get our hair wet. I know. Dom, I never understood it when my mom would be like, I don't want to get my hair wet. And now Dom's like, Mom, let's do da-da. And I'm like, I got to get my hair wet. Get on the trampoline with them. Like, just play. Get back to playing and watch how fun it is.
Totally. I think I would say a tip I have for fitness is invite your friends to do it with you. Like a lot of times I think we are lucky because we are friends and we have other friends who we all work out and it's normal to say, let's get together and do a walk or let's do a workout. Some people don't have that, but you might be surprised. One of your friends might really appreciate the ask if you just say, you want to go on a walk with me? Or maybe you're thinking of trying a new class and you don't want to go alone. So I would say one tip is start asking people to join you. It's really helpful to have an accountability partner. Another thing that I think is really helpful is to realize that you can try new things and you don't have to do it perfectly. So many people don't do the workout or I think it's fun to experiment and go try different classes, whatever they might be. Or even like with a lot of body programs, people would say, oh, I couldn't do that. And I'm like, but could you try?
Right.
Because you might really surprise yourself, but we've decided that we can't. And I was there, and it was filming 80 Day Obsession that made me realize, oh, I can do way more than I think I can. So try the workout, try the class, and know that no one expects you to get it perfect, but just get there and do what you can. So invite a friend, also do the thing, try the workout, try the class.
Yeah.
Would be my tips for that. And just find consistency. If you aren't enjoying what you're doing, then maybe bounce it off of someone else. That's, that's why we have jobs that we have, is to help people find the fun in working out and their joy in working out. And if you haven't found that yet, that doesn't mean that you won't. So
Right.
maybe it's the style of working out you're doing. Maybe it's the pressure you're putting on yourself. It could be a number of things. It could be the time of day you're doing it. There's a lot of adjustments people can make that all of a sudden they start to think, oh, wow, I'm enjoying this and I look forward to it. So don't be afraid of those adjustments.
Yeah, I love both of those. Well, so speaking of, working out with friends and accountability and staying on track for the summer, you and I have decided to do something fun for the summer.
Yes, I'm so excited about it.
I'm so excited about it. And we're inviting you to do it with us.
That's right.
Are so excited. So we're going to run a group.
Starting,
Do you want me to take it away?
Yeah, so we're going to do a group. I'm really excited because we're going to start with 21 Day Fix, the original.
The OG.
Which I have to say, I don't know if I've ever done the original, like full out. I've done
really?
workouts from it, but I started with Fix Extreme.
Right.
And so I'm really excited to do that. And then it's going to be a 3-month challenge. So the first month we're going to do 21 Day Fix, the original. And then in that extra week, we'll have some fun bonus workouts.
We'll do a calendar for that week of like different workouts.
And it also, I think it's nice because it's a 3-month challenge. If for some reason you get a day behind, you're not going to be trying to catch up the whole time. There's a little time each at the end where you would be able to make that up. And then the second month, we're going to do 21 Day Fix real time, which I had the pleasure of filming, and it's going to be fun to go down that memory lane. And then I just completed, and I'm so excited to do it again, in part also because of the personal development with it, 21 Day Fix Super Block, the third month.
Yes. And we picked the 21 Day Fix series for a reason. It is summer. The workouts are only 30 minutes. The OG program, all you need are dumbbells. Fix real time, we use dumbbells and we use mini resistance loops. And then the Super Block, we just use dumbbells. So kind of anywhere you're going, like I said, usually they'll have a gym, but you can also move things around in your schedule. Like if you want to move a cardio day. Yes, the 21 Day Fix workout programs are all 21 days, 3 weeks long. So in that fourth week, while we'll give you that calendar of, okay, here's what we're doing in our fourth week. If you're behind or need to make up days or whatever it is, it's not about everybody having to be on the exact same day. It's about fun with friends, the accountability, Donald and I running the group together. I'm sure he and I will do some live workouts where, not that we'll be like leading it, but necessarily we'll push play with you guys. So we'll put a Zoom up, we'll push play with you guys so you could watch us die again.
Yeah, you'll hear the cussing and see their faces in real time.
Lord only knows what we'll be saying to each other there, knowing it's...
Exactly. We couldn't just speak as freely.
Can't speak as freely. I'll give you guys, we'll do playlists within the group because I know so many people are always like, oh my gosh, your playlist's autumn, and they're not on the Super Block anymore. So I'll do some new playlists. We'll do meal plans and our favorite Fix recipes. So we just want to have fun with all of you this summer. We're going to put the link to the group in the show notes. It is a paid group that obviously covers the fact that, we're going to put a lot of time and effort into this, and it also keeps the not so nice people away.
Yeah. But I'm just so excited about it. It's going to be so fun to connect with a group. And I've led a lot of groups. You've led a lot of groups. It's like, finally we're doing one together. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be everything.
Yes, we are excited. Everything's perfect when you're working out with friends.
That's
Everything's
right.
perfect when you're fixing with friends. We'll figure out the title of the group in the next week. But
Yes.
The bottom line is we're excited to go through the summer with you guys. And we're going to be in there sharing too, like, I'm sure we'll share stuff on the podcast. Like Donald and I are going to New York at the end of the summer. We might just make that its own podcast, like an episode. But we'll be real with you. We're going to show you like when we're traveling and what we're doing and how we change things around. Because again, it's not about being perfect, but it is about being consistent, because that's what makes us feel our best. And that's really the overall goal, is to feel our best this summer. And we want to help you feel your best. So I'm excited that we're doing this. I think it's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to connect with you all and just do it with you. It's been a long time since I've actually immersed myself into the program with the containers and the whole thing. And I'm ready to do it and to just be totally connected with another group of people doing it.
The one other thing we're going to say is it is a paid group, but we're going to give away 5 free spots to the group. And so make sure you're following Everything's Perfect Official. That's the Instagram account, because that's where we're going to tell you how we're picking the 5 winners. We'll do that as we get closer to the group opening. So we're going to start with a prep week on May 26th. So when you're listening to this, it'll be May 20th.
Yes.
And that week, the 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, each day we're going to give a spot away. So we'll be saying it in Instagram, how you can possibly win one of the 5 spots. So making sure you're checking in on our stories each day. But yeah, we're so excited to run this group. And I think at the end of it, we'll do like a whole recap episode. Maybe we'll show people's before and afters for those that give us permission.
Yeah.
We could talk about the experience, and who knows what we'll do going into the fall.
Yeah. And I really do think whether you've never done this program or you've done it 20 times, it's going to feel like as exciting as the first time. We're going to bring so much new, and I'm just excited for myself to do it. So yeah. Let's go.
Let's go. Summer's here. Ready or not, summer's here.
That's right.
So let's feel our best. Let's do what we need to feel our best. You guys are awesome. Thanks for tuning in. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, leave us a comment and review. We always really appreciate it, and we'll see you guys for the next one.